Thank you very much indeed. A reaction in Australia, as you can expect, has been shock and horror. Joining me now is Aaron Young, Sky News Melbourne Bureau Chief. And on the phone is Tim Fischer. He's the former Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, who says in the wake of his crime, tourists should think twice about coming to America. Let me start with you, if I may, Aaron Young. There's been widespread fury and distress in Australia over this, hasn't there?
It really has. Hello, Piers. There's been disbelief, shock. No one can understand how this happened. Chris was a rising star. He was having the time of his life over in the United States. We've all heard about gun violence in America, but this has really brought it home to us here right across the country. Parents in Australia who may have children on scholarships in the US, also the students themselves, just utter disbelief that this could happen to one of ours. Now, this is the front page of the local newspaper here in Melbourne today, the Herald Sun newspaper. You can see the three accused who are on the front page there. It says, the teens American police shot our star. Now, our political leaders have described it as senseless. It's been the reaction from the family as well as reporting from that baseball club in the suburb of Essendon. It's just north of Melbourne here. Family, friends, as well as teammates and people from the local baseball club have all been down there this week. It's been terribly sad. They've been placing a baseball with tributes written on it, flowers on the home base there. His mother and father, they held back tears. They described Chris as just another normal kid. He loved his baseball. He's loved the game since he was 15 years old, and he loved it because he always wanted to go to college in the US, Piers, and he saw that this was his chance.
It's an absolutely appalling story. I want to bring in now Tim Fischer. He served as Deputy Prime Minister in the John Howard government from 1996 to 1999. The significance of that being that after a appalling massacre in Port Arthur in Australia in 1996, huge changes were made to gun control in Australia. And as a result, they've had hardly a mass shooting since, and certainly nothing of this random nature. Tim Fischer, you've called for a boycott of America by Australian tourists, showing the depth of your feeling. What is your reaction to what has happened here?
Just for the record, Australia has had 0 gun massacres since 1996, and the United States, 80 people killed by guns every single day. So it is another example of murder mayhem on Main Street. Yes, people thinking of going to the USA on business or tourist trips should think carefully about it, given the statistical fact you are 15 times more likely to be shot dead in the USA than in Australia per capita per million people.
I've had this debate countless times on this show in the last 2 years, and I keep being assured by the gun rights people that the only way to deal with gun violence is for more people to be armed and more guns to be in circulation. Obviously, Australia went a completely different direction and took away guns. There was a huge amnesty and a ban on many semi-automatic and automatic weapons. Tell me what you think of the logic that more guns means less gun crime.
Well, you've done well over there. You've got 250 million guns in the US of A. You have semi-automatics and automatics in the suburbs. We don't in Australia. And we still have freedom, and the sporting shooters still have right to have guns. Farmers have the right to have guns. Anyone with licensing has the right. But we don't have gun shows where you can rock up and not even be subject to a background check in one of the most dumbest decisions so far in the litany of agony over the gun laws and gun policies of the NRA and the USA. There is deep-seated anger this time. I can tell you there is disbelief. A fine young Australian cut down by 3 bored teenagers, allegedly. And I just want to say that I would appeal to the deep thinkers in the USA to think again about the drift in the state of the nation. I went to Philadelphia to the Constitutional Convention, Constitutional Museum, to look particularly at aspects of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment does not provide for semi-automatics in the suburbs of Main Street, USA.
Let me just ask you, you were in a Conservative government, weren't you, Mr Fischer?
Yes, I was a leader of the Republican Regional Party equivalent, Congressman equivalent, in a sense, Dick Cheney or Joe Biden equivalent, Deputy Prime Minister, and I supported strongly John Winston Howard and the initiatives for gun law reform. I'm also a former Vietnam veteran, thanks to the USA. and I have an own guns, which CNN have footage of, as a matter of fact. But I believe in a sensible, balanced policy approach, which is in the interest of public safety. What happened in Oklahoma is just a manifestation of what's happening in almost every state, every day in the USA. Enough is surely enough.
Tim Fischer, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I do appreciate it.